Welcome to Nextdoorstuck, a podcast about Homestuck and absolutely nothing that is at all not related to Homestuck, but it's okay because Homestuck just has everything under any piece of media ever.
Yeah. If it matters, it's in Homestuck.
If it's important and worth referencing, it is in Homestuck. I'm Allie.
I'm Mel.
And oh boy, we're here.
We sure are.
We're back with another episode. We have read a whole lot.
Things just keep getting more complicated and silly.
Yeah, this podcast, this is coming out, I think, like a little, like 3 weeks after the last episode.
Yeah.
And we had to read, and then it turns out that there was more than just reading because there's animations, one of which we're going to talk about today. And it, there's a lot. There's a lot. So we have to talk about it all. So we have gotten to the end of Act 2, and it turns out Act 2 has a whole lot in it. So I'll just start with, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling the nostalgia. There's something about watching the, flash animations that have music involved. It sparks something in my brain that's just like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm hype about Homestuck again. Here we go.
Yeah. I wanted to talk just right off the bat about something that I noticed. So page 510. So there's I called it in my notes a Deltarune moment pre-Deltarune.
Yeah.
And we have the giant walkthrough that Rose is making. And we have all of the images about everything that's been happening and just kind of showing us what all we have seen already. And showing where the car disconnected and where John is being wild in the room. And the last one is just a pixelated room. And it says a view of his kidnapped father's room. I can't see in here for some reason. Perhaps this is because John himself has never entered the room. It is possible that I can see only in a sense what John can see or has seen already. I have not found the time to discuss this with him yet. If he enters the room, the question may answer itself. So we kind of have a weird situation here.
We have a little mystery.
Yeah, we have a little mystery of we can't see Dad's room because John has just literally never been in the room, I guess.
Yeah.
Or has just never been in the room in the time that we've been doing this. I'm
pretty sure it's referenced earlier, when you're exploring the house, that John's just never been in there.
Yeah. It kind of is for me it was weird because I was thinking about Rose is actively able to see everything going on around the house and everything in the house and is able to just kind of freely see the space. And that goes for stuff like the roof of the house as well.
Yeah.
That up until later in this act, John has not gone to. No. Which I guess we could just infer yes, a roof exists and so therefore we can just see it.
Yeah, it's something that John could visualize, whereas a room that you have no idea what's in there,
yeah, well it kind of solidified for me that there are boundaries to what you can do as the person that's
connected,
that's connected to the host. Yeah. Because there are limits to what you can do, and it seemed like it wasn't the case, is that you could just kind of move anything and see anything in the area, which is cool, but it's now we've entered a limit. We have added our first limitation to what we can do, which I think is really interesting, and I think it's probably going to come up later because I'm sure there are even more limitations to what we can do. But I thought it was really interesting. And I made a big old note about it and had a whole section of my notes talking about it. And I just said that Rose cannot see in Dad Bert's room because John has never been in there before, despite Rose being able to see anything in the house at any time, despite John's location in it. And then I immediately move on to talking about how in the very next page, not the next page, the pages before, where John is talking to himself, but it's Mr. Mayor. and we realize that it's not so much that Mr. Mayor is like talking to John as he is like just implanting thoughts in his head.
Yeah, he's like Mr. Mayor is clicking on stuff in The Sims, and like John is like, why do I feel like I need to go over there and like plant some flowers and then go and make 16 omelets and
yeah. Yeah, no, it very much felt like The Sims, but it's also like I was under the impression last episode that it was more that they were talking, or that like John was like hearing a voice.
Yeah,
you know, hearing a voice, and even if it was just like in John's head, like hearing a voice saying, "Hey, do this thing," or "Hey, do," and instead it's that John is actually getting all these thoughts. It's just like intrusive thoughts happening in his mind,
like literally.
Yeah, literally intrusive thoughts.
They are coming from outside.
Yeah, they're from outside the house. So I like, because he's asking about the can opener, and I have that he's making John think about the can opener instead of telling him as a separate person to do the thing.
Yeah,
which is just not how I initially thought that was. So I just want to clear that up from the last episode.
Yeah,
I now understand.
I have written down for the can opener page, Headmates the Experience the Musical.
Oh boy.
Why do I need to find a can? Like, I don't have cans. What?
Yeah, oh boy. Oh, I'm so sorry. I adjusted your chair.
You sure did. I'm sitting up very straight now.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
I was just messing with things. Yeah, so we have the punch card system now.
Yes.
Can we talk about punch cards?
Absolutely.
Okay. You want to start?
Sure. So after 523 pages, we finally get to know why it's called a captcha log. It's because there's captchas.
Oh.
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 Yeah. The cards have captchas on the back.
Uh-oh.
And
I am not I knew this.
Yeah.
I knew this.
Yeah.
It's fine. I knew this. Yeah, so anyway, so they got captchas on the back of them.
Yeah.
And that's why they have all those letters on the back, and not just because they're unique codes to the card. Totally not that.
Yeah. But like when you're just reading it for the first time and you're blasting through the story and you're focusing on like very different things than this, it's easy to miss that like the codes that are input are like not random. They're like an actual cipher that like determines the height that the lathe goes to and like every axis. And it's like it's all way more in depth than it really has any right to be.
Yeah, it's really in depth, it seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of a whole thing.
Oh.
This is laying a foundation.
Oh,
of
great.
Saying, you see how you can just sort of punch shit into these cards and mix whatever you want?
Yeah, well, we can't mix anything we want because like we had the point where we gave the shaving cream just a random code to see what happens. And it just like becomes a jetpack that also has a pogo ride in it and also a hammer. Or sorry, no, it's a rocket pack that has a cinder block, a violin, and a flower just like sticking out of it.
Yeah, so you can't like just key smash and expect to get something that like actually exists.
Yeah.
You have to have the code beforehand.
Yeah, but we also get to see stuff like the pogo hammer.
For as long as you have two individual things, you can combine the things.
Yeah, and the pogo hammer is so cute and silly. I
Yeah.
love the pogo hammer, actually. I'm looking for the page for it.
The pogo hammer is a delight. At some point, someone modded it into Skyrim, and that's been the only weapon to use in Skyrim ever since.
Wait, I need the Skyrim
You
mod.
just boing the guards everywhere.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that
it's
existed.
wonderful.
I guess that way. I mean, like, I guess I'm not like in the Homestuck circles, so I wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Why would you know about a Skyrim mod from almost a decade ago from a webcomic you hadn't read?
I mean, valid. So there's a lot happening in this act. And I want to talk about the punch cards even more, but then we figure out that the safe in the office.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting because there's the note behind the safe first off, which I think is really sweet, and I think just really encaptures more Dad Bert, and it's just like, all right, I see you.
Yeah.
I see you. I see the energy here with the safe. But also it has captcha log cards in it.
Yeah.
Which tells me that maybe Dad has a captcha log, which wouldn't make like a ton of sense to me. My understanding was that like not everybody has a captcha log, because we see that Mr. Mayor doesn't have one.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. Well, we'll talk about. I mean, like Mr. Mayor seems to be just like in the future, but like still like probably the same planet. The animation covers that a lot. It seems to imply that pretty heavily.
Then perhaps it would be better to say that like it's implied that every human has this inventory system.
Okay.
And that the same doesn't necessarily apply to whatever's going on with Mr. Mayor.
I see. Like, I don't know, because each one is unique, it seems like, but also, like, we see so many... Like, I mean, like think about Dave's. Like, Dave has an eject all button.
Yeah.
But nobody else has an eject all button.
No.
And it feels like it's, like, a purchasable thing.
Yeah.
Like, it gives me the idea of, like people are ordering these online to have them, and it's, like, the cool kid thing. I didn't imagine that the parents had them.
Fair enough. I'm pretty sure we like get the opposite of stack modus like from the inside of a book or something, where it's like free modus inside. So like it very much is like that. Yeah,
it's very much like a capitalized thing where you can purchase your captcha log and purchase cards for your captcha log. Okay.
So like the kids will have their Pokemon card binders, and Dad will have
his 2 Pokemon cards in his safe.
Yeah.
His foil Charizard in his safe.
Yeah.
We have the cats in here for this episode of the podcast, and they are going to be wandering all around. So there's going to be all sorts of silly times, and you will probably hear a couple cuts here and there as we deal with cats. But they have been so excited to be in here because Mel has been gone all day, the day that we're recording this. And so they just want to be close. They're vibing. They're enjoying life. I just want can editor, whoever is editing this, can you put first off, whoever's editing this, say hello.
Hi.
Okay, sure. But along with that, can you just put up episode 5 or page 518? That is just my energy at all times. Rose is just slowly just going insane, and I feel that. But also, can we talk about the bars that Rose has at 522? Can we talk about these bars from Rose? The fucking Rose, like all absolutely just messing with Dave, but like kind of just like, okay, wait a minute, hold up, Rose, you actually like know how to rhyme, you know how to use words.
It's almost like that's her whole thing, is having a vocabulary,
right? But that, I mean, like, it's the same pages where we have I am enrobed in chafing, wriggling, god fucking damned puppet pelvis. An obscenely long, coarse Kermit cock is being dragged across my anguished face.
Yeah. Oh, God. Dave is very good at saying words about things and then conjuring a mental image, and you didn't necessarily want the mental image, but it has been described to you in such detail you can't get it out of you.
You now have it. I mean, like, it... Yeah. Oh my god, wait, I have in my notes just a little bit. Why are these notes not together? Whatever. Back to the safe. I'm so sorry. Hey, we have ADHD.
Yeah.
Back to the safe. So why is there a second copy of the joke book? And why did one of them kill Nana?
Yeah, so, Right. My notes on that are, hey, Lil J, why immediately jump to I wonder if this book fucking killed my Nana?
I mean, like, is it wrong?
No. That was referenced, like, when we saw Nana's urn, it was like, a tall ladder, a very heavy copy of Colonel Sassacre's. Dad never talks about it.
Oh my god. So Dad just fucking killed Nana.
Dad didn't kill Nana. The book killed Nana.
People don't kill people. Dad didn't kill Nana. It was the book's fault.
Just blame the Colonel.
Also, the shaving cream book. Wow, very dad, much cool.
Yeah.
Very dad, much cool. Much cool. And then I have a note here about page 553. Or sorry, 556.
Oh. My notes on that are eye strain warning.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just visually a lot.
Yeah.
And it's the first of many, I feel like. Or not even the first, because the fridge had the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
I feel, I don't know if we're going to be able to actually put this on the screen without some sort of visual warning.
Yeah.
We'll at least put like a still image of it, but like, wow. Wow. It's just a mess. It hurts my eyeballs.
Speaking of 553, though, my notes on that are Rose Lalonde with the trackpad skills. You know she played Osu with that damn thing.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, Rose getting the sweet catch. Rose gets a couple of sweet catches.
Yeah.
She also catches John like later up on the roof.
Yeah, like
with
flying
the bed.
through the air at Mach speed.
Yeah, flying through the air at Mach speed, catches him in the bed, and then just passes out. And then we just have the rest of the act as Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
And we get to see the becoming of Mr. Mayor.
The marinating.
the marinating.
Yeah.
The marination.
God.
The marination of Mr. Mayor. But I don't know. I love Mr. Mayor. We could like we were gonna talk about this later in the episode, but let's talk about Mr. Mayor real quick. Huge fucking times with Mr. Mayor where we get to see a whole lot of stuff happen at once.
Yeah.
So Mr. Mayor has a nuclear reactor.
Or something.
It's a nuclear reactor and it's low. Who cares though, right? It's Manchin time.
Yeah.
It's Manchin time, baby.
Time to eat books and try to eat cans.
Yeah. But this is also where we see that Mr. Mayor has no captcha log. And additionally, he makes a reference to something earlier, which is where we have a dream sequence that seems to occur. It's at page 652, in which John goes to bed, and we get to hear the first Toby Fox track of the entire thing of Homestuck.
Yeah.
We get to hear the first Toby Fox track, and it's nice sleepy sounds, and then a lot happens in the visual.
A lot very fast.
A lot very fast. Actually, like, very fast. But during that, it seems like we're in, like, a dream sequence in which we... It's basically just John goes to sleep, and we have a couple pages of Rose looking at the computer and realizing like everything that happens and how you can create items. And Rose gets the idea to stick the Spurb server CD into a card.
Yeah.
And then like I assume is going to make the captcha code, have John use the captcha code to then make a server version of the game to then be able to just help Rose.
Yeah.
Which is first off so smart and so great, and hopefully we'll get to see how that goes. But then like right after that,
well, we see how that goes immediately.
Well, I mean, like we kind of do. Like we go to message John the captcha code.
There's no captcha code.
Oh.
That's why she's going, oh god damn it.
Oh, I thought that was just like the generator, because outside we also hear the generator just stop. And the generator just stops running and everything dies. And then we just have no generator, and then yeah, the double face palm. But then after that we have the second Toby Fox track, which is the whole dream sequence. And we get to see like what looks like just very pretty clouds.
Some fruit gushies.
Some fruit gushies, and we get to see like the pogo, and we get to see a whole bunch of other stuff. Harry Anderson. And then we see just the silhouette of someone. We sure see someone, and we see them a couple times. We see them in the later animation as well.
Yeah.
That we're gonna
for like a frame.
For a single frame. We're gonna go through that frame by frame. But we see that, and then there's also just a whole bunch happening at once, including a frame of a pumpkin randomly. Like halfway through there's a point where it just flickers all of these frames for like a frame each. And you get to see a pumpkin. And then you also see a
bunch of spirographs and such.
Oh yeah, that is it. I guess there's the other animation that has the single frame of the same silhouette person but different. But right after that is like we have a conversation with Gigi. And I'm still confused on whether this is John dreaming or not. Because on one hand, we just had a whole dream sequence, and then John sits up, and it's like, all right, John's awake. But then at the same time, we immediately after that, we see an imp hiding behind the bed as the large imp starts climbing up the side of the house. And so then John and the imp are both hiding behind the bed together. And the other thing that made it is that there are question marks at the time of, and whereas recently or earlier we didn't have any question marks.
Oh yeah.
And there's no question marks earlier in Conversations with Everybody.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it's wild because we have all these, and I mean, like, we have so long of just like consistent conversation, and then we get to this conversation with Gigi, and there is no time. It just has question marks on the time, for the ceasing of it says Garden Gnostic ceased pestering ectobiologist at question mark. And then you grab the pogo hammer, you hide behind the bed with the other imp, and we see again that we go to contact Rose and we can't, and the time is question marks again. And then you become the imp and you fly down with the umbrella.
Farewell.
So I have to just like I am not convinced that this is real.
Yeah.
At all.
That is a fun observation.
I'm not convinced it's real at all, because then you stop becoming an imp, and because that was stupid, and it's like, okay, is this just
webcomic antics, or does this mean something?
Yeah, it's like, is this webcomic antics and like people being like, become the imp, become the imp, become the imp, and so then they just wrote it? Or is this that we have entered into a dream, and we are in a dream in which we talk to Gigi, and then we become an imp and hide from the large imp outside the house. And then we just continue on our way. And we go up to the roof, and then we use the pogo, and we smash the other imp up there. And then, like, the big ogres are there, and then it just stops. And we never see John again for the rest of the act. So I have no clue if it's like actually a dream, or if it's not a dream and it's just like they're awake and the time thing is like a new thing. But yeah, there's no timestamp, which kind of gives me the idea that it must be either a dream or something else is going on.
Yeah. Mysterious.
Also, like the giant imps that did not appear until after the dream sequence.
Yeah.
And like they're massive and they have like big old tusks coming out of their mouths. And then we switch straight back to Dave.
Yeah.
We stop being the other guy and we switch back to Dave. And then Dave goes up to the roof. And then you just become Mr. Mayor for the rest of the act. Yeah. And that's it. Page 666, you become the wayward vagabond.
As you always should.
That is a hell of a page to start on.
Yeah.
Anyways, with all that being said, so Mr. Mayor makes a reference to you can't. Mr. Mayor doesn't know what an imp is and is not an imp, and like does this whole thing, referencing the dream sequence, which like is very strange to me because my understanding is that this is not a dream, unless we're going to go with the whole theory of all of Homestuck is just in a dream after page 500 and whatever. So I am a little confused.
That's valid. Things have not been explained yet.
I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. It's a whole lot. But Mr. Mayor's wonderful, and I had a great time with all of that.
Mr. Mayor's a delight.
I love Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor is probably my favorite character so far. Mr. Mayor is my favorite character so far. He's got a little barcode on his wrist, but he didn't want to talk about it because it's unpleasant and there's bad memories.
Mr. Mayor has trauma.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor's got trauma, and also it makes me think that, like, I don't know, barcodes are like...
That implies some things.
That implies some real bad things.
Yeah.
Like, we have had barcodes on... Like, if we're... Because everything in this is related to, like, media that has happened in the past and history that has happened. So barcodes on a person very much reads like there has been an active genocide.
Yeah.
Like, they like that is the only time in which barcodes have gone on people, I mean, really, is when stuff like that's happening.
Yeah. You're not wrong. It knows what it's referencing.
Okay, great. Wonderful. But yeah, at first I was thinking that and I don't want to like be the only one talking here.
No, you're good.
At first it seemed like he was like in a nuclear bunker, and then we see that it's like not really a bunker as much as it is just like a little ship.
Yeah.
And it has like multiple rooms instead of just being the one. But it did make me wonder, like, how long has he been in here? Because we see him go in, but like we don't know how long that was.
No, I guess not.
He acts like he's been in there for a while. Mr. Mayor acts like he hasn't talked to anybody in a hot second.
Yeah. My notes for this section are all just very silly and like, I love you, Mr. Mayor, and just baby in all caps.
I did like Mr. Mayor making Cantown. That was a really fun time.
Democracy.
We have democracy
the light of democracy.
The light of democracy in the nuclear bunker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we have Mr. Mayor figuring out the other monitors too while we're in there. And like we get to see that what two of the other monitors see. And my theory is that the monitor 3 is just like monitor 3 is Dave. Monitor 2 was on Rose, but on the statue in the house.
Yeah.
Instead of just being on, like how Dave was like, it was on Dave, but like also with like a weird bird with a sword in its chest. Versus like, which like didn't make sense to me at all.
That's correct.
Kind of seems sus.
Yeah.
But then like why is Rose's camera different in that like it's just like stuck on a fixed point of some statue?
I don't know. It's pretty weird.
Is that all I'm gonna get?
Yes.
Okay.
This is laying out stuff for you that like you won't have to wait too long. Like it's just foreshadowing. It's gonna be okay.
Also, Mr. Mayor doesn't switch to monitor 4, which is super convenient.
Yeah.
And kind of tells me that maybe we didn't know who the fourth person was going to be yet, or we're being intentionally extremely, like, quiet about it.
Yeah.
Which, like, I guess makes sense, but, like...
They have to be very sussy about it all.
We gotta be very sussy.
If we go to, like, 703, there's some fun stuff here, some fun lore bits. Yeah, when Mr. Mayor is drawing the sky for Cantown.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, these planets won't be important at all.
For sure.
They probably will not matter. No, the volcano is interesting because Mr. Mayor draws the volcano planet, which we do see in the animation. And we like see the volcano like explode or we see a volcano that's like got lava around it, and then a meteor hits, and then like a whole civilization is built up in there.
Yeah.
So, like, going back to this page, it, like, looks like Mr. Mayor knows about all of the things that have happened and, like, is just drawing them. Or it's just straight up that Mr. Mayor is just like, you know what, these planets look good, and it's just, there's absolutely no reason why I think these things.
Mr. Mayor just has an active imagination.
Yeah, for sure.
And if we go to the next page, we can see a dark moon, and on the other side there is a bright yellow moon. And if you remember, when Nana was doing her monologue about the medium and such, she like pointed up. She was like, "Well, there's the gold one up there, and there's the purple one down there, and that's where all the like kernel sprites split up and went."
I see. So is this like implying that Mr. Mayor knows about all of the space and is just drawing it?
Yes, for one reason or another, Mr. Mayor knows what the medium looks like and like knows things that haven't really happened yet. Like, we have no perception of what these planets are, and nothing that Mr. Mayor is seeing in the screens is like giving that information. So
Yeah.
like, what does he know?
I mean, like, if Mr. Mayor is like in the future at all, then that could imply that Mr. Mayor just like was around to see it all, I guess, or like was taught about it.
Yeah, like knows history.
Yeah, knows history, was taught about it as a kid or whatever. I feel like it's more like gonna be, I don't know. My theory is that it's more that Mr. Mayor has been around for a minute. And Mr. Mayor's just a little old, just a little bit old.
You notice that he tore the little label off the motor oil to make one of the planets.
Wait, no, I didn't notice that.
This one, the little gear shaped one,
Oh my gosh! Wait, that's cute.
is pretty adorable.
Oh, that's why it's different like that. I thought that was just different because Mr. Mayor just didn't paint the wall for some reason.
And I was like, this already has the shape I want. I'm not gonna draw this.
Well, then that also implies things, because it's like, why does this motor oil have the shape of a planet? Or is Mr. Mayor just using it to be convenient?
I feel like that's just sort of like a cute, convenient thing.
Okay.
Just like, oh, this happens to be the shape I need.
Yeah. Okay. I love how after we make all this stuff for Cantown, it's just, oh yeah, it's that guy. You'd almost forgotten about him and his confusing shenanigans.
Oh yeah, Homestuck over there.
Oh yeah. Freaking Homestuck.
And then you press tab.
Yes, we press tab and we get tab. Oh my god, tab was wild. Like, that's more visually obnoxious things, and I love it.
So the whole gag here is that it's very sweet and sugary, and Mr. Mayor is just, oh, he's getting all hyper because sugar. He's silly. Tab is a sugar-free soda.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he's just silly.
He's just a silly little dude. Just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
I hear... I've never had tab. I don't, I, at first, before seeing the Coca-Cola label at the bottom, thought it was maybe just, like, a made-up soda.
Yeah. I mean, that's valid. It's awfully convenient to press the tab button and have tab fall out.
I mean, like, fair enough. But, like, I mean, we see stuff like it, like with Toby Fox referencing Big Shot.
Yeah.
We see Big Shot soda. So like it's a, I mean that's like way later than this, but like I mean like it's happened. We've seen it. We've seen these things happen before.
It's the vibe.
Yeah.
I have had tab one time, like specifically because of Homestuck.
What is it?
It's just like sugar-free Coke that's like slightly less good than Coke. Like Coke just made up a competitor so that their numbers would look better than their other numbers.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's just
capitalism.
It's just capitalism.
Yeah.
Heard. Can we talk about the art at 719?
Yes.
It's really cute, but also, why is it this instead of all the other art that's existed up to this point?
Because it has to let you know that this is adorable and silly, and if Mr. Mayor could draw the panel, this is what it would look like.
I love that. That's actually adorable. That's so cute. Okay, wait. Can we talk about the barcode at the very beginning of the animation on 721 and how it's the barcode on Mr. Mare's wrist?
Yep.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it implies something. Maybe there's a connection we don't see yet.
Okay.
That is going to be the answer to a lot of things. It's like, well, when you read more of the webcomic, it will tell you why this matters. But if I say it before then, it's spoilers.
Valid. Okay. Fair enough. At 723, we have another MS Paint Adventure little side comic that we pull out.
Yeah.
Is that a different, like, not Mr. Mare, but is that a different little traveling, wandering vagabond?
Yeah, a little pal.
Just a little pal. At first, I was like, maybe this is just like a different art style of Mr. Mare, but then we see him again later, and like Mr. Mare's on the little rocket ship flying around.
Yeah. But Peregrine Mendicant is the name we have for
Peregrine
that
Mendicant.
friend.
Okay.
Wheeling mailboxes around.
Wait, wheeling mailboxes? I thought these were cans.
They're mailboxes.
Oh, they're mailboxes. I'm a fool. I thought they were
little
cans.
Red liver flippy dealy things.
I thought they were cans, which is part of why I thought it was Mr. Mare, because I was like, oh, it's Mr. Mare with all his cans.
But just in the sunlight, I guess.
Yeah, just in the sunlight. It just like left the bunker. But then we see that it's a little harder to leave the bunker than we originally thought.
Yeah. It's a little bit of an undertaking. Okay. If we go over to 733, we get to see some details on the inside of this bunker here, like coordinates.
Yeah, and we see the coordinates move around in the recording as well, or in the video as well at the end.
Yeah. So the coordinates right here are pointing to the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Oh.
And so Mr. Mare goes to purify a thing from the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and it's a pumpkin.
Yeah, I mean, there was a pumpkin in the bunker.
Yeah, but it was a rotten pumpkin that Mr. Mare ate earlier.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And we try to re-purify that one, and it doesn't work.
No, it goes, that's a paradox. You get goop.
You get goop. That's it. Just goops. Yeah, I didn't necessarily think anything weird of that, but I also didn't think about the fact that it was in the middle of the ocean. But also, it seems like all water is gone at this point, and like everything's just a desert.
Fair,
or at least like in the area that this is in.
Yes, but the time that it's set to is 2009.
Oh.
So
I see.
At a regular human time on Earth,
yeah,
Mr. Mare purified a pumpkin from the middle of the ocean.
Okay. What year is everybody else in?
2009 is the year that, like...
everyone is in.
Yeah.
Okay. So then is this, like... because it also says T12. And then, or it says 2009 413 T1213.
Yeah, so that's like, it's 13 o'clock.
Okay. Not timeline 1213.
I mean, presumably not, but you never really know.
Yeah, and it also says we're 2,500 feet above sea level. Mm-hmm. Which, like...
pretty weird for the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. Why is this?
Because it just so happens that there is a pumpkin in the middle of the Pacific Ocean very high up.
I mean, but why?
There's one frame in this act where you can see why.
Oh, is it the... okay, wait, we're just gonna get into the animation then. And where's Mr. Mare? All right, hold up, I'm looking up the coordinates.
It's mostly in the forest.
Yeah, we're just in a forest. Why are we in a forest in New York?
Oh, you know.
Why is a forest in New York now the desert?
Well, there were a bunch of meteors.
So is this implying that all of New York is now just a desert?
Everything that Mr. Mare is passing over, which looks like several continents, is desert.
Yeah. Okay, well then this brings up, I guess, the this brings up the newspaper clippings.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have the newspaper clippings from page, on page 545, we have newspaper clippings in which it talks about how, the government and all of the, like, police are just, like, downplaying all of this as not being a big deal. And we see, like, images where, like, it looks like places are just entirely deserts and, like, cities are destroyed and stuff like this. So is this implying that this has just been happening and that the entire world is just being destroyed and the government's just, like, covering it up as not that big of an issue?
I think rather it's implying that this has happened on a smaller scale once before. Like, the Earth didn't get destroyed, but a bunch of meteors came, and then things were quiet for a little bit, and now a lot of meteors are here.
But so the newspaper says space rocks knock local burbs blocks off. Populace oblivious to broader significance of events, assuming there is any, which there definitely isn't.
Yeah.
Shortly after 4 a.m. today, a downpour of meteors in a residential neighborhood became yet another instance in a pattern of recent rocky cosmological phenomena. The incident, aside from property damage and loss of life, was downplayed by authorities as not all that big of a deal.
Please don't pay attention to this.
Yeah, but, like, that's talking, like, this is, like, a recent train of events that has just been going on.
Yeah, and you can see by the date up there, this is Monday, April 13th, 19-something.
Yeah, it's 1990-something.
Yeah, which... Yeah, I don't know if it's, like, explicitly, like, laid out here, but because this is Homestuck, this is stuff that occurred exactly 13 years ago.
I see. So then it would have been 1996?
Yes.
We're in 2009?
Yeah.
So it would have been 1996. So this has been happening for 13 years and we're just downplaying the whole thing?
Also, out of everything in all of this, like, they felt the need to point out that a Crocker facility was leveled.
What is a Crocker facility?
As in, like, Betty Crocker, like a baking facility.
Oh, I see, because it's out of Dad's safe. The newspaper clippings from Dad's safe. I see. That's funny, actually. Wait, I didn't notice that. Yeah, because, like, the images in the newspaper clippings also just, like, show, like, entire buildings just being destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, there's an entire building that's just destroyed right here. In the left side. And we see, like, the meteor there and what looks like just everything becoming desert. So is this implying that Mr. Mayor's just, like, on the other part of the country? Like, where is everybody else at? Like, where's John at? I guess I haven't thought about that, but, like, where is John?
John's in the medium.
No, like, okay, let me rephrase. In Act 1, the beginning, Act 1, page 1, where are we?
Washington.
So we're on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is implying that the entire east side of the country, at least, is just completely desert, and us over here in Washington are just completely oblivious. Where's Rose at? Also Washington?
Every time Mr. Mayor is introduced, it says years in the future.
Yeah, but they're also in... Mr. Mayor's also in 2009.
No, the Purifier is pointing to 2009.
Oh.
Mr. Mayor is not in 2009.
Oh.
So the Purifier is pointing to a specific place and a specific time that isn't necessarily where Mr. Mayor is at all.
Because it says years in the future, but not many.
Yeah. But it means relatively.
Okay. But then also, so, yeah, because at 247 we see years in the future, but not many. And 248 we see years in the future, but not many. And then the video of 757 we see the entire desert. And we see everything. I'm just trying to understand the timeline here.
Yeah.
And also, like, where is Rose at? Is Rose also in Washington, or are they...
Rose is in another part of the United States.
Okay, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we see that Mr. Mayor's little, the little Homestuck bunker. The little Homestuck bunker.
Yeah. The can-shaped.
With the can-shaped Homestuck bunker with the house on the side. Comes out of like a giant tube, which seems to also be within its own larger cylinder section, which then also seems to have like, I couldn't tell if that was just like debris or if that's like trying to be like low-res trees or what that's trying to be around the...
Yeah, I think that's just like old, like
markings and debris.
Cromchi trees.
Okay. So then that makes me wonder like what this used to be, you know? Like what did this used to be prior to all of this happening?
Something, and then a crater, and then sand.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if it was maybe a old bunker of some kind, like if it's like an old government facility, you know? And then we see that we are moving across the country, and we move all the way over, and we see the many years in the past, but not many, and then the meteor just like leveling the town, which seems to be where we start in Washington. That's what it seems to be.
Yeah.
And we just have a giant meteor hole happen. But it also makes me wonder if maybe that is what happened, and then like the little like it makes me wonder if what Mr. Mayor is riding in is like the end result of using Spurb Beta.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like the meteor is just like where it crashes in the medium, and then like you're gonna be able to from the medium like come back and you're in the crater because that's where your house was. And then like you've got the whole bunker built.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's really weird, and it leaves a lot of gaps. But then we also have right after that, it filling up with sand and then just becoming the desert like we've already seen.
Yeah.
And then we see a tree grow out of it.
And then the tree grows a little pod.
Yeah, and then it drops the little Homestuck pod. What's that?
It's a Homestuck pod.
Okay, cool. Is that all I'm gonna get?
I mean, it has similar features to the thing Mr. Mayor is in, so it's probably related. That's about as much as we've got right now.
Great. I hate it. I like, because like we can assume that that's probably, or at least I think we can assume that that's probably like where John's house was, and that we're seeing John's house get leveled.
Yeah, that's implied.
So then the meteor does that, and then the tree grows from, I'm assuming, John's house.
So at least where it used to be.
Yeah. So then it makes like what is that? Is it that? Well. Also, like, is it the apple from earlier?
Yeah, it is like the exact same symbolism.
Yeah.
Inexplicably, and the thing that it grows has the Spurb logo on it.
Yeah.
So like, it seems to be a direct result of that, but like, to what end?
Yeah, the pod gives me weird vibes because it's like, what is the pod?
What is the pod for?
Yeah, is that like what is in the pod? And then we see the other merchant flying overhead, and we see how big the pod is.
It's large.
Yeah, we see Mr. Mayor flying over the merchant, and we see the pod, and the pod is massive, which tells us the tree is huge.
Yeah,
absolutely ginormous.
Just massive.
And this pod, like, looks kind of like the... Like, if you look at the top... well, what would be the top if it was sitting upright? It, like, looks like kind of like the bunker that Mr. Mayor is in. In, like, the sense that, like, it has the little spirograph up at the top and the circle. And that's it. Yeah. And it's just, like, otherwise a cylinder. So, like, then that makes me wonder, is this, like, another bunker that's being grown? But, like, why?
Like, are these the same type of thing? And if so, why was there one in New York? Where did it come from?
I mean, I guess we could assume that, like, the New York one would be from somebody else who did Spurb, probably in the 90s. Or in the 2000s that we haven't seen yet. But, like, we saw... the newspaper clippings talk about stuff that happened in the 90s in other parts of the country, and it's, like, a Washington newspaper, as far as we know. Yeah. Like, Dad has it, so we can assume it's probably something that locally you can get, so we can assume it's probably a Washington newspaper, or even a
it did
city-specific...
say it knocked a local burbs block off.
Okay. Well, then fuck me! And then we see it go all the way to the...
Middle of the
to
Pacific
the middle of the
Ocean.
Pacific Ocean, where there's a volcano and rocks, and that's it.
Yeah.
And there's no water over by the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And then a meteor hits it, and then we have water.
It said years in the past, and then it crossed out, but not many. So very, very in the past.
Yeah, which, like, is that implying that this is something that happened, like, way in ancient history?
I mean, the fact that, like, dinosaurs spawn out of this eventually sort of implies that, yeah.
Is that what they are? They're
Yeah.
dinosaurs? I
Yeah,
thought
it's
it was
pterodactyls.
just... Oh, I thought it was just, like, a weird little frog society.
Well, there's this little frog temple going on. Wow. Dinosaurs. These dinosaurs in particular are lifted from Hussey's friend Ryan North's like own webcomic that has silly dinosaurs in it.
Oh, that's cute.
So it's a nice little pal reference.
That's lovely. So then, like, I guess the Frog Society is just like some ancient society that doesn't exist anymore. I mean, like, I guess we can assume that pretty safely. But, like, okay, so we're suggesting that Spur Betas or stuff related to this goes back to ancient history.
Yeah.
Okay, so then after all of that, it goes to all of the, like, modern day teens that we're seeing in the recording.
Pop over to Rose and all of the fire.
Yeah, we get to see Rose trying to fix the thing, and the trees falling down onto the generator, and then we see Mom, and like Mom punches in some code inside the house, which then opens up a secret ladderway down underneath Jasper the cat's tomb.
Very fucking dramatic, first of all, but
overly dramatic, but like I wouldn't expect anything less,
right? But you can see from the panels that are lit up on the number pad that Mom is punching in the code 413.
Oh, so then Mom like
knows something.
Yeah, Mom's in on something.
Yeah.
Mom knows something that's the mom. So okay, so then all the parents just seem to know something, because then we see Dad, who is just like totally fine, and then uses the fake handcuffs that were missing and that they used to handcuff Dad, and then or the trick handcuffs rather, and he escapes them to be able to then like start attacking the imps with cake and shaving cream that he just pulls out of his back pocket.
Does. His dad capsule log, I'm sure.
Oh, that makes more sense then. the dad chalog.
No.
The dad chalog. God. Okay, that for me confirms a little more of the dad capsulog. Okay, so then like are the parents on all of this?
They seem to like have some knowledge of like, okay, the meteor stuff happened in the past, like in the 90s, and they like picked up on that. Like Dad saved the newspaper clippings, and had some inkling that something was going to happen in the future related to that. But beyond that, like we don't have really any info about how much they actually know.
Okay, I mean, like, if Rose's mom has a whole bunker built underneath a cat's tomb, like that seems like the type of thing you only have if you're going to like 100% need it.
Yeah.
And,
for
like,
sure.
What's in there? Like, to me, that reads as like mom's in on something. Mom's in on some stuff. And then we've got good old Dave and Bro just hanging out.
Yeah, just normal bro things.
Just normal bro things. Just being two bros up on the roof. Like, there's nothing super weird about that. Like, they're just vibing.
Like, Houston is on fire, but when is it not?
Yeah. So then, and I want to pull up the second coordinates here. So then, Mr. Mayor's little pod lands at the little frog temple, and we get to see that, and that the coordinates for that are so the temple is just in the middle of the South Pacific Ocean.
The same middle of the Pacific Ocean that the pumpkin came from.
Oh,
so that explains how it could be up so high in the middle of the ocean.
Wait, but
There's
how
stuff there?
how far off is the coordinates from the two?
They should be virtually identical.
Okay, yeah. So the temple is just the coordinates are to that temple, and they are literally the exact same coordinates.
Yeah. So there was a pumpkin there in 2009.
So in 2009, somebody put a pumpkin on top of a temple, and that was it. So we've run out of fuel, it seems.
No more fuel for the mayor.
No more fuel for the mayor, and the mayor just is there at the temple, and then we get a little spirograph and just a huge white page.
Wow.
Wow.
There it is. Mr. Mayor got somewhere. I wonder what's in that temple.
I'm assuming that's the next act. I hope that's the next act. So we have the Suburban Countdown. Well, it's not exactly Suburban Countdown, but it is Suburban Countdown that we get from Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
Which I think is super fun. That we just like, we have the timer again, we have the whole countdown, and we have him just prepping everything to get together.
Did you notice that Serenity is blinking in Morse code?
Yeah.
It's
Serenity is blinking in Morse code, and Mr. Mayor's trying to get everything together, and then just immediately eats the lid. And then we get, this is incredibly silly from Serenity.
It truly is very, very silly.
And then Mr. Mayor goes to climb, and then just completely falls and drops everything again. So on page 665, we get to see this other animation that happens with it, which starts with Dave. With the note from the bro.
Yeah.
The note from bro.
Roof now. The note you always want to see after getting covered in puppets.
Yeah. And so Dave just quickly cleans up everything and grabs little Cal and grabs the sword.
The very real, very good sharp sword.
Yeah.
It's not from AliExpress. I don't know where you got that idea.
It's not from AliExpress. And then we go up to the top, and we get to see we get to see Dave climb up to the roof.
And everything is very on fire.
Yeah, the sky is very much on fire where Dave is at. Do we know where Dave is?
Yeah, Houston.
Okay, Dave is we know that Dave is in Houston.
Yeah.
Okay. So Houston is also then currently experiencing just like tons of meteors and being destroyed.
Yeah.
Great. What a great time.
Yeah, I mean, we always sort of expected that.
And then we see Dave just on the roof.
And psych.
And then, yeah, we see the psych. And then we just see a frame of someone, and we do see the pumpkin.
The exact pumpkin.
The exact pumpkin. Can we also mention how all of the flowers that are here are spirographs?
Yeah, just inexplicably.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know who this person is that has the little spirograph shirt, but like, they like spirographs, it seems. And the pumpkin being here. So like, this means that this specific scene in 2009, hopefully,
yeah,
or somewhere around there, this pumpkin was here with this person here with all these spirograph flowers here, in that temple in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Is there any other frame here?
Just becoming the mayor.
Just becoming the mayor. Yeah, so we get to see the spirographs and the new mysterious person, which, like, okay, my theory is kind of that that's just Gigi.
Yeah.
And that Gigi is just weird friend from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I
mean, that would make sense considering we've only, like, talked to 4 people.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, this, it's totally possible that they're just introducing a new character, but I think that this has to be that like, this is Gigi that we're seeing. Especially because, like, their name is Garden Gnostic.
And this person's standing in a garden.
Well, more or less a garden. It's just a bunch of flowers on tables that are all spirographs that seem to have been made. Like, I'm not entirely convinced these are grown flowers, that like these are just like somebody made these. Which then further back, like, it makes me wonder, like, is this all that Gigi has like prepared all of this stuff? Like, last episode we talked a whole bunch about like my theories with Gigi.
Yeah.
And like, it makes me wonder, like, is this that we are the entire thing is just being set up by Gigi, or is it that Gigi has been like researching it and trying to figure this all out from the temple?
Is she doing this, or does she just know something?
Yeah, exactly. Is it that she's the one causing it, or she's trying to figure out the cause and is therefore just very closely correlated?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk about a really fun part of the act.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about, we're doing it, man. We're making this happen. And it being a Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff reference. And how it's just, let's make this shit work. We're doing it, man. It's them just trying to hug.
Yeah.
And then we get to see all these lovely things. But then we also get to see all the other comics, such as Comic 46, The Game is a Foof. 45, Cloink, This is Complete Bullshit. Boy! Searching for Bobby Shitfuck. Is there anything that Deutsch blasts that's not quads? And then Boob just no.
And
I also love that at the bottom of this we have just the best image of Tony Hawk.
Yeah, just like so compressed that he looks like a Dorito.
He looks like his soul was stolen from him.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk's entire soul just ripped out of his body. He's cursed to ride the skateboard for an eternity. He's just orange.
Yeah.
He's just a little red guy. I have literally in my notes that I wanted to just like look at this list because like there's just so many funny ones here. Like literally my notes are just like, go through the list on episode, please. They just don't ever hit the ground. What is wrong with this picture? 3 of 10, and you can just click on it and it's just a whole, every single one of these is just their own comic.
Yep. These will each come up at some point during the story.
This is ridiculous. Every single one of these is at some point in Homestuck.
Yeah, I mean, Dave makes all of these.
Oh boy.
Chronologically.
Oh boy.
Whatever that means in Homestuck.
But are they chronologically?
Yeah.
Because we saw the stairs one. And then this one is number 5? Okay, so then where are the others? Where's 2 through 4?
Just on the website. For you to find and go, oh.
Dave's just making weird comics between now and then.
Yeah. Today I put jelly on this hot god.
I love that Dave just cannot spell for the life of him. Also, we get Obama memes.
Economy.
We get some great 2009 Obama memes. Those are always fun.
Yeah. We do, in the community, frequently refer to the Obama presidency as the Homestuck presidency.
Oh my God. Really?
And or Obama as the Homestuck president, because his term lasted like exactly as long as Homestuck did.
That is wild, actually.
Yeah.
Man, Obama just had a cursed run. Obama was cursed with Homestuck.
Yeah, but Obama became a blessing upon Homestuck, so it's fine.
Fair enough. Once again, I have to pull up the ad where you can become a baby and retain your adult knowledge and assume the form of a human infant. Your satisfaction guaranteed. Ads by Project Wonderful. Your ad here right now. Just $999 billion.
Yeah.
Trillion dollars, however much it is.
You too can either become a baby or pay trillions of dollars to advertise something besides becoming a baby.
I mean, if you click on become a baby, it's spoilers.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, I can tell by the acronym. This is fan content that will unlock once you have like met all the relevant characters and have the context and stuff.
Okay.
That specifically is Toby Fox's rock opera that he made in protest to an MSPA forum rule.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Why is it linked to become a baby?
Because it's called The Baby Is You.
The baby is me.
The baby is you.
Baba is you?
Yes.
Baba is you.
Baba is you.
Oh boy. Toby Fox if anybody knows how to get in contact with Toby Fox, let me know. I'd love to be able to like share some of the music from Homestuck that he's made on the podcast, but I haven't been able to get a hold of him yet. I know he's impossible to get a hold of.
An uncontactable man.
Yeah.
I respect it.
I respect it too. I like when like looking for his email because like, okay, as a content creator, like we have tools at our disposal for finding people's emails. I used all those resources trying to find Toby Fox's contact info of any kind. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's like an Undertale Gmail that hasn't been checked in 7 years. That's it.
That's it. And it is so wild to me that like somebody is able to just like disappear off the internet and yet also be such a huge part of the internet. Like wish it were me. Wish it were me. I wish I was just uncontactable unless I wanted to be contacted.
Yeah.
But if anybody knows how to get a hold of Toby Fox, let me know. I don't want to like use somebody's music without their permission, even if it is like a fair use, like we're analyzing it within the scope of Homestuck, and I'm sure Toby Fox would probably not have an issue with it.
Yeah. He has a history of being chill with that sort of thing.
Yeah, I just don't want to
assume.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't want to assume, and like as a fellow musician, I would want to be asked, but I'm also like very available on the internet. Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't know.
It's okay. We just have to get in contact with Sakurai, and then he can give us Toby Fox's email.
I'm sure that's easy to do. I'm sure I can just contact Sakurai.
Yeah, just call him on the phone. You're just good friends, casually.
Let me pull up his email on Rocket Reach or whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, we've got some real good bangers in this.
Yeah, we do.
We have some huge bangers in this. We already talked a little bit about Suburban Reversal and how it's just Suburban Countdown again. And Mark's just like, I don't know. I every bit of music that has been made by Mark so far for this has been great.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed it. And like it's really helped like build the atmosphere. And that track is like no exception to that. And then we get the music at 757 for the big animation at the end. And ooh, that music is so good.
Michael crushing it, knocking it out of the park again.
Just absolutely crushing it.
It's like
Michael Bowman just making a banger again.
Yeah, it's the perfect amount of like dramatic and like
it's like solemn.
Yeah, it's like some shit is going down. Like the world is way different than it used to be, and you're not really gonna understand it yet. But like, here is the scope of things.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't know. It's such a simple track with just like a little oscillation underneath, and then just like a single melody. With some drums.
Yeah.
But it works to like create like a nice solemn story about like the end of the world, basically. Because I mean, like essentially that's what's happening here is we are seeing the world just be destroyed.
Yeah. Like, well, what's going on here? Is this supposed to be hopeful? Like, what is the goal of these characters?
Yeah, and I mean, like, I love how whenever like we see the second civilization, where the island with the frog temple come up, like we get these like harsher sounds coming in. Like we get more added to the music as we get to the frog temple because we've added in all these like harsher frequencies like in the middle of the track.
Yeah. Which also pairs well with the, forest fire.
Yeah, exactly. It continues as we like see like the destruction of a civilization, and then the destruction of Rose's entire house, and then Dadbert being imprisoned, like, and then trying to escape. Like, it just works so well. And it just, like, makes, like, such a good soundtrack.
Yeah,
for this moment.
It's connecting all of the stories that we've been seeing up until this point, and like making it all cohesive, and like this is the vibe that is running through all of these scenarios.
Exactly. And then it just ends, and then the spirograph shows up like just a couple of seconds after the music ends, and it's just like this weird like emptiness.
Yeah.
With just nothing but white screen, and then it goes to the spirograph. So from this point, we need to read the next act.
Yeah.
I think going forward with episodes, we're probably going to chop it up a little smaller.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
The comic is getting much more dense with like information, and less like I'm running around my house doing silly goofs.
Yeah. I mean, like, the first act was great to just like do all at once. And then Act 2 has already gotten a really steep ramp up. So I think going forward, we'll see what the next episode looks like. But I would love to have like an hour-long podcast. But this episode's probably going to be a bit longer than that. And that's with us like cutting things that we're talking about to like keep it from just being us rambling on forever.
Yeah, because we truly could.
We could, and we did. And we have. And we are.
And we will again.
Anyways, I think that's all we got, though.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
I'm excited to get to the next stuff.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen in Act 3. I'm gonna be reading it like literally tomorrow, and the next episode will probably have a little bit of a different structure too. But we'll get there. We'll get there. For now, though, thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr. It's Nextdoorstuck. And you can find me on Twitch, and you can find Mel on Twitter.
I am there.
all of the stuff's in the description if you would like to chat and tell us your thoughts about the podcast, or
please talk to me about Homestuck.
Come talk to Mel about Homestuck, because they can't talk to me about anything past Act 2 yet. If you come to the Tumblr, the Ask Box is open, and I am answering spoilery things there. It's all tagged and such. I do not touch the Tumblr, because that way that it can be it's our secret spoiler zone. Yeah, secret spoiler zone. I'll be able to touch it eventually. I'll be able to go there eventually and hang out. But right now I'm not on the Tumblr, and I like purposely have avoided looking at any media online, which means also like very much limiting the Twitter use, but like I am the person running the Twitter most of the time. Yeah, but we can't just like scroll around randomly, because most of the accounts we're following from that account are Homestuck accounts, which are drawing Homestuck fan art of stuff we haven't seen yet. Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. Anyways, we'll see y'all next time with Act 3. Yeehaw. Or some part of it. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for listening, and sorry. Sorry. But not really.